This is the BCMM network. The following broadcast is solely for the enjoyment and entertainment of our audience. This is the Blue Collar Minute Men Show. Let's go, Brandon.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Blue Collar Minute Men Show, where we're just a few guys trying to help make this country great again. And starting off, as you can see, we got a fresh face with us again, Mr. Tony DeFredo. Tony, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Elton. How are you?
Enjoying this summer weather in December.
Yeah.
It's a little bit strangely warm.
Well,
Bill, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Out
Just
here at
look
the
behind
beach.
it.
Yeah, just look behind him. But hey, some of those liberals will tell you that this is just a part of the reason that we need to go green. We shouldn't have these warm winters.
Yeah.
I think that's just a part of the weather. You can't control it no matter what. But hey, listen up. We've got some good stuff for you. We weren't able to do a podcast last week. I'll just tell you a little bit personal about my own self. What happened last week, my mom was visiting during the Thanksgiving holidays, and kind of cut the long story short, we think she overdid it and she got sick, and we had to get her to the hospital, get her checked out. So we weren't able to do a podcast last week. But my mom's doing great. Nothing wrong. And she's going to get checked out by our local doctor at home. So don't know what happened, but who knows at this point. Hopefully we'll find out later, and hopefully it won't be that bad. All right. But to start off this show, let's kick this off. Since I mentioned my mom being sick, she's also had the vaccines, which several people have had the vaccines. And Bill, a judge recently ordered Pfizer to release their documentation on their vaccine under the I can't remember what act it is. It's like a
Freedom of
federal
Information.
Freedom of Information.
They were
Act.
sued under the Freedom of Information Act to release all the data they had on the vaccines. Their response: it'll take us 55 years to get all that data together. Well, of course, we know the judge wasn't buying that. So he again issued the order, and they started releasing small bits and pieces of the data from the testing of the vaccine. And what did we find out in those documents?
Tony, you got to hear this, man. They found out that during testing, 1,200 people died during testing of this vaccine.
Just during testing.
Yes.
1,200. Now,
How the hell did they get it?
well, that's what we're wondering.
Yeah.
What was the number of test subjects?
That
Did
they
they give that?
They don't have that yet. All they got
Well,
is
that's 1,300.
there was 1,200 died during testing of the vaccine. That's in their own internal documents.
Mm-hmm. So, ladies and gentlemen, we ain't making this up. This is what they put out. But like Bill was saying, they're not putting out the whole thing. They're putting out a little bit here.
Because it'll take 55 years to get it all together. So.
But I mean,
That's all it took them to come up with the polio vaccine, wasn't it? 55 years.
Well, speaking of which, Tony, what does that in your mind, the first thing you think about when you hear that? I mean,
Money, cover up. It's they were somebody in the higher up wanted the fame and fortune of getting it out there as quick as they could, and they couldn't care what the test results were, how many people died. They're just interested in getting it out on the market. And we're out there, even though maybe 10 out of every 1,000 is going to die, but you got to know what their total test subjects were. 1,200 is unusual. And
Right.
I'd say that they probably, I doubt if there was 5,000 or 10,000 test subject. How many people's going to volunteer as being a test subject for a pharmaceutical lab?
Oh, and to mention, they seem to, well, first off, let's say that a lot of these drugs normally go through years of testing. Years. They do the lab test, they do the sample test, then they start, unfortunately, but they test on rats or something like that. They'll do tests before they even go to human trials. They skip a whole like a whole lot and just went to human trials. And to me, guys, it blows my mind that the American people are like, oh, well, they made it. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and take it. Oh, it must be good. They made it. I'm going to go ahead and take it. It's like, do you have any logic in your head that you understand that they're skipping a process and they're giving you an experimental vaccine that has not been fully tested? And
Well,
what you said,
I can understand if, they were, a lot of people dying worldwide,
mhm,
and all the companies were rushing to get tests out and get something. I'm wondering about Moderna and Johnson Johnson. I'd like to see what their test failure rate was, how many deaths per 1,000 they had.
Well,
Yes.
the Freedom of Information request was put in. And the FDA is the one that came back to the judge and said, it'll be 2076 before we're able to give you all that data. Now, excuse me, but I give you everything in my house in 55 years. I mean, I could dig up everything I've ever written in 55 years. Come on. I mean, if this is something new, they've just put out, made, they should have all the daggone documents right there handy.
Right. They're not archived anyplace.
Yeah, I mean,
No.
they haven't had time to archive anything.
Just
Why
shove it in under the table.
why is it taking 55 years? Because they're
unless they're
hoping,
trying to hide.
okay, unless they're saying, well, in 55 years, everybody that we give this vaccine to should be dead.
That's what
So
I was getting ready to say.
nobody can sue us then, and we can release this. That's the
Like
only thing I
report
can
on the
hear.
grassy knoll.
Yeah, that's all I can say.
Everybody's dead.
We're coming to our own conclusions, but ladies and gentlemen, you have to just think about what we just said. And logically, does it make any sense whatsoever of any of that? I'm like,
55 years?
That was just a ruse. All they're doing is trying to keep the facts from coming out.
Mhm. Now,
I'm sure that it saved lives. There's no
If-
doubt it saved lives.
if you've got something that you're forcing everyone to take in a free country, a free society, don't you think people have the right to know what's in it?
Absolutely.
Well, you can find out in 55 years. Take it now, don't worry about it. 55 years, you can come back and we'll tell you what's in it. If you're still around.
yeah. And here's something that I saw too this week, guys. There was a gentleman who got interviewed by a news reporter. And of course, the news is painting people who don't want to get the vaccine as anti-vaxxers. That's the big thing. It's like, oh, you're an anti-vaxxer and you just want to spread diseases. And this guy actually said to the news reporter, he says, look, I am not anti-vaccination. He said, there are vaccinations out there. He said that I'm definitely giving my kids when they're born and as they go through school. He said, I'm just anti-vax on this one. But you can see the way the narrative is trying to go with this mainstream media.
Well,
We mean mainstream propaganda outlets. There's only one or two mainstream media.
Yes.
now here's
Yeah.
another question I got going along with this COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Omicron.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Okay, let me ask you a question. I want to ask everybody out here this question. If you've been reading anything, you know that in Australia right now, if you're not vaccinated, you don't come out of your house or you go to a concentration camp. You definitely do not leave the country, and you're definitely not allowed into the country. But now all of a sudden they've got an outbreak of Omicron in Australia. Now, how did it get there if none of the unvaccinated people were able to come into the country or leave the country?
You know how they got their vaccinated people coming in.
No, but that can't be, Tony.
They're
It
calling
can't
it
be.
breakthrough. It's breakthrough.
It can't be.
You know,
It's the vaccinated people who've been vaccinated that it's done mutated on.
And you know what's wrong with it's blowing their whole narrative apart at this point.
What's
None of the unvaccinated are dying.
right. Well, I've got a friend in Cape Town. I was talking to him the other night on the radio, and he happens to be a epidemiologist. The Omicron, there's no deaths in Africa from it.
It's supposed to have
It's
mild
mild.
symptoms.
Since mild symptoms, it's a weakened, mutated strain of corona. You know, the
But
same
hey,
virus that causes the regular everyday flu that mutates every year.
they're closing everything down because of the Omicron. Oh my God.
And you know what? Before we started this podcast, I just read, and I should have took a note as to which site I read this from. I think it was from The Hill. I was looking at The Hill newspaper on the internet, and they said that they're already starting to try to come up with a vaccine for Omicron.
Mhm.
So what is this going to be? The fifth, sixth shot now? Wait a minute. Well, if you had the 2 and you had the booster, so this will be the 4th shot.
1933 all over again.
I just wonder how many shots it's going to take before people go, hey, I'm tired of taking these shots.
You know,
This is
I
my
feel
18th
like
shot.
Okay.
we pretty well guarantee you that it's going to be here just like the regular flu shot.
All right, here's another question I got. Now, I've talked to medical people about this. I've tried to find it, read about it, whatever. There is a test that we take where they stick this cotton swab up your nose and it tells if you got COVID. It doesn't tell if you've got Delta. It doesn't tell if you got Omicron. It doesn't tell if you've got the normal. So how do they know?
They have no way to know it unless they send it off they'd have to send it to a lab, and then the lab would have to do extensive breakdown on the different variant stages of it, because each virus has got different main components in the variant plasma
And
cell.
that exactly what you're saying right there, Tony, makes me realize too that there's no way that they could get back to you within a week and tell
No.
you which variant you have.
Nope.
No,
Nope.
So
So
if they're
how do we
telling-
already, okay, how long has this thing been out?
Oh God, since
Omicron?
2019,
No, Omicron.
29. Oh,
2
Omicron
weeks,
has, yeah.
All right.
2 weeks since we found out about it.
But they've already discovered cases in Maryland, Utah, Missouri, Pennsylvania, New York, Colorado, Minnesota, California, Hawaii, and Nebraska. How are they testing
Vaccinate
for this?
people.
Because it's vaccinated people.
I mean, how are they testing for this? How do they know?
I guess if you come in and you don't have a severe cough, you just got mild symptom chills.
Oh, you got Omicron.
Oh, you got the Omicron.
Well, I should mention, the reason Justin isn't with us today.
He's got
I mean,
Omicron?
He's got
No,
the
but
new
he
one
is.
out. Yeah.
Well, it might be the new one. I don't know, but he's got the bad sinus infection. He said his head feels like a big balloon.
It
and
must
he's
be
sick.
Omicron. It must be Omicron.
Maybe, but people, it's just that time of year. People are going to get sick no matter what. I don't get it. The fear mongering that the media and everyone tries to put on the people is ridiculous. And like I said, they're already planning to come up with a vaccine for Omicron. And what Bill said and what Tony said about all this going on in Africa, they don't want you to know that it's a mild case. The media here is not telling you that it's a mild case. All they're saying is here comes the Omicron variant. What are we going to do for the variant? Are we going to go back into lockdowns? Blah, 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 blah. Not a one of them has said, well, the symptoms are just mild. It's a mutated version of COVID, but you don't even get half of what you got with the original COVID.
No.
They're not telling you that.
If you look, most of the times when a virus mutates, very few times does it mutate once it's mutated into humans, very few times does it mutate into a more deadly virus. It mutates into a weaker, different strain.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to have 20, 30 mutate variants that's going to mutate out of how many we had since the Wuhan virus first got out. Well, it actually got out 2018.
Yeah.
When China shut everybody down. And,
right.
Of course, I told you my boy was over there living there and his best friend was in Wuhan. The only reason that the Chinese even let people know about it is the Chinese New Year was coming up and like 4 million people just travel out of Wuhan, and they'd already shut Wuhan down and they knew they couldn't get them off. So they had to make it public because majority of the people in Wuhan, they went to work in factories in Italy, northern and central Italy.
Oh.
That's why Italy was hit so hard. And the media doesn't tell you that because Italy has massive number of Chinese-owned factories.
Well, I didn't know. I definitely didn't know that.
Yep, absolutely. It's a matter of record. But
the other thing that comes to mind, and you all already know it's coming, if they're working on a vaccine for Omicron, then that's just more money out of you, me, Tony, all of our pockets. Because like we said before, these vaccines are not free. It came from taxpayer dollars, and your taxpayer dollars are going to keep paying for this crap.
Yep.
All right, I'm done with this.
It's just like when the first vaccine come out, Barb's got an egg allergy. She can't have anything with egg. I mean, she goes in anaphylactic shock.
Mm-hmm.
And the school system is telling her you got to have the vaccine unless you got a medical reason. No. Well, it's not good. The nurses don't. No, it's not got any egg in it. It's not made of anything to do with egg.
Mm-hmm.
She's one of these people that researches deeply everything.
Right.
She come and she asked me, "Do you know what this word means?" No, that one I don't know. She said, hen egg culture. So and she went and confronted the nurse and she got mad and turned around and walked off. And she said, "Yeah, it's right here. It states it. No, it's not on there any place. There's no egg." what's this word? The nurse couldn't tell her. She brought it up, showed her. She got turned around and stalked off. Nurse did.
Oh gosh, if people would just be honest and just think a little bit, things would go a whole lot easier. Just use this up here. It's not hard.
Yeah. Can I say what? First thing you got to the people have got to realize with the original strain, when you first start feeling bad, don't wait. Don't wait to go to the doctor or go get checked out. Soon as you find out that you have it, don't let them send you home until you come down with it gets in your respiratory system. Then you only have a 50% chance of coming out of it. And 9 times out of 10, they got to put you on a respirator. But if you start ivermectin, monoclonal infusions, and a number of other drugs, it will, within 24 to 72 hours, you're up and walking around. My problem with most of the people that died from it and were on respirators, the medical profession waited too long, or the people waited too long to get a treatment.
Right.
You know, and of course you can't blame some of the medical because they didn't know a lot about it at the time. But with this new variant, so far there's not a single person been put on a respirator.
No. So it's all a big money grab again, and it's all a big fear mongering again.
Yep.
But let's move on real quick. We don't let's see. Bill, how are we on time?
About 10 minutes left.
Okay. Some other things we'll go over real quick too that's real big going on in the news. Mr. Chris Cuomo of CNN. Of course, we all know his brother, the other Cuomo, which I can't remember his first name, which
The governor?
yeah, the governor of
Oh, no, the mayor. No, governor. Was he governor or mayor?
governor of New York State.
Governor.
Of
Ex-governor.
course, yeah, he got in trouble. Bill, before I even say this, why does it seem like, now, correct me if I'm wrong, everybody got on Trump for what he said about, grabbing them right in the, what?
Yeah.
And everybody looked at Trump and like, oh, he's a womanizer. Oh, blah, 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 this. And, oh, he just, sexualizes women. Why haven't they ever found anything really on him that he's done to women? But we can name a long list of Democrats who have been just creeps, perverts, pedophiles. And Cuomo got caught with his hand in the cookie jar harassing women.
Well, he also got, he just had all kinds of damn problems. Hell, he stuck all those COVID patients in the nursing homes and killed all the people in the nursing homes. He's probably responsible for 75% of the deaths in New York.
But
Or
his
if you're on
brother,
Jeffrey Epstein's list.
yeah. But his brother Chris, of course, worked for CNN. And even though his brother resigned, I guess there's trials going on for these, for him harassing these females while in government. Now, I don't know if you all know this because I don't think they're saying a lot about it, but whether you know it or not, what Chris did was basically he got on CNN on television and demonized these victims, these ladies, these women that his brother inappropriately made action toward. And I think he also did he or did he not put their names out there either? I can't.
He did. I think he mentioned first names, but here's a breaking news from today. This is after he was fired, which he was fired what, Saturday?
Yeah.
He'll
yesterday.
be called back.
No, here's the breaking news. Now, several members of the CNN staff are alleging he sexually assaulted and had misconduct with them. Former co-workers of Chris Como made a sexual misconduct allegation against the former anchor who was fired Saturday for misleading the cable network about the extent of the role he played trying to mitigate sexual harassment accusations that took down his brother. So now he's got people accusing him.
Well,
And
He'd
they
be
have
on-
lawyers. They have lawyered up.
Well, MSNBC will be glad to have him. He'd be right there, co-anchoring at Mad Cow. I mean, what?
Probably.
I mean, ladies and gentlemen, are y'all listen? We don't have to make this stuff up. This stuff is writing itself. These liberals and these Democrats, these people are the perverts.
Absolutely.
Bill just read it.
Which, we've got to put a stop to this. November coming up. This has got to stop. Most of, these, most of your mainstream media, they're not even news people. They're not new journalists.
They're
They're not.
opinion people. They're
They're
all
opinion.
opinion.
They're op-ed people, and they make good Saturday night, late night, hosts for, well, Johnny Carson wasn't anything like these people, and it's a shame because that was a good show. But now you got Kemper and all them people. I mean, it's just like let's go wash everybody's dirty laundry. Mini
Right.
Jerry Springers.
Right. But I'm telling you, we keep saying it. We keep telling you. We keep giving you the information. We're not making any of this up. And these liberals and these Democrats, they're just showing what they really are. And like Tony's saying, this next year is going to be important. If you have any moral fiber in your being, there's no way you should be wanting someone who is affiliated. Let's say affiliated, because I know there are Democrats out there who have nothing to do with these idiots up there in Washington and have nothing to do with those people at CNN. But some of these people who are affiliated with them, we shouldn't want anything to do with them. Anything.
Let me just throw one more thing out here to you real quick. Our illustrious Speaker of the House, Miss Nancy Pelosi,
Tony's
never,
girlfriend.
yeah,
Tony's girlfriend.
girlfriend, never has anything good to say about Florida, right? She's always putting down our governor down there and just putting him down, putting the whole state down. Oh, they're all dying of COVID. They're doing this, they're doing that. Then why the hell did she just buy a $25 million house in Florida?
She said she didn't do it, though.
Uh-huh.
She's still claiming she's not done that.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Why is her name on the damn deed then? Because they put it out from the property
That's right.
assessment.
Well, wait till Little Red Riding Lion Hood will come up with the answer for that.
oh, geez.
It's,
People, open your eyes and your brain. It's all right there in front of you.
don't be one of these people that you look over and see them driving down the road. No one else in the vehicle. They've got the mask on. They've got gloves on, and the windows rolled up, and it's 100 degrees outside, and riding around with it by themselves with gloves and masks.
Blows my mind.
It's
Uh,
it's fear. They put some of these news medias have put fear into the people, and I mean, I know people that cannot walk in their house and they spend hours a day just glued to CNN and taking everything. I mean, these poor people are they've been traumatized, and the propaganda, they've been brainwashed. All they
Oh,
can
no.
do is sit and look at it in mortal fear to go out of their house.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And I don't know what it's going to take. I mean, do your research. We preach that a lot. You know, Tony, you were saying that Barb does her research on things. You've got to do it now. They are, when I say they, I mean the liberals and these Democrats in Washington. They are counting on you being so lazy that you will just take in whatever they put in out there on that box, on that TV, that you would take that as gospel as if it came from the mouth of Jesus Christ himself. And Lord, forgive me for saying that, but that's what they are hoping for. And Tony, like you said,
They want you to be so paranoid that you will not get out of your house. And it's basically destroying this country.
it is. And we've discussed this before, and I've said it before. The United States learned all this stuff from World War II, how to do propaganda, media manipulation, stuff that Hitler even did. They are doing right here.
Absolutely. 1933 all over again.
So, Bill, you got anything else?
Nope, that's about time. Oh, I did just get a little info on that house. It says Nancy is denying it, but the people who sold it say it was now listed as an unnamed buyer.
Oh. Well, Tony, you want to say anything before we
No,
go?
Yesterday before I come to work, I had to, I just walked by the TV and my TV stays on Newsmax. I don't even watch Fox anymore. And there was they caught my attention when they said, they're saying that there's absolutely no problem with shelves being empty in stores, according to Little Red Flying Hood. They shot over to her saying, well, no, there's none, there's no shortages, and all shortages and these snatch and grab criminals are all because of Donald Trump and his policies for the COVID-19. And I come out here, I brought up my ship plotter. And she said, there's no, all the ships are being unloaded. There's no big backlog. As of yesterday, there's still 175 ships sitting in Long Beach Harbor, container ships that can't be unloaded. And now they're denying, they're giving the truck drivers. The National Trucking Union asked for some regulations to be relieved where a driver could drive a 12-hour stint. And by doing that, it would increase the movement of goods 30%. And so far, they won't release that. Just let them drive 4 hours more shift. It's amazing. It's scary, and we just wait for the next. Well, I loved it because they wouldn't even name it after Chi. They skipped over 2 or 3 so they wouldn't, make anybody mad. Something for you next one to think about. Laptop from Hell. That book, you've got to get it and read it.
Well, now there's a fake out there too.
Yeah, there's a fake.
Have you seen that?
I heard they was a fake.
The person that wrote the book said somebody else has put one on Amazon, and Amazon's got it listed.
Yeah.
But it's a fake book. And it's got a lot of fake stuff in it, but supposedly hers is true.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Laptop from Hell.
Yeah, Laptop from Hell by
It's about Hunter's laptop.
Yeah. Anyway, it's they've been doing some research on it, and they found archival footage that was shown on one of the TV stations, news stations, where actually Joe was talking to a man and woman at a convention in Washington when he was vice president, and Hunter was standing there, and he was talking about deals and things, and he said, "Well, yeah, Hunter, give me one of your cards. I will get together, have a meeting." So he took the guy off to the side, and you can see the podium and everything in the back. And Joe Biden knows nothing about Hunter's dealings.
Oh, okay. Well,
Appreciate
I'll
y'all
just-
having me on.
oh, no
Ah.
problem, Tony.
Always a
problem at
pleasure.
all.
Always a
Yes.
pleasure.
I'll just say this real quick, and then I'll shut up and we'll go on. But what Tony said about the ships, manufactured shortage. They're doing this on purpose. So I'll leave it at that. But like you said, Tony, as always, thanks for you being here. Bill, another word?
you.
I'm good.
All right. Ladies and
yes,
gentlemen.
I do want to,
Oh, the food. Yeah.
oh yeah.
Thanksgiving.
So next
Or
Saturday,
Yes.
we will be in the Walmart area in Somerset doing our food drive,
That'll be December 11th.
December the 11th. We'll be out front. We'll have a box set up. If you go in the store, think about getting an extra can of corn, an extra jar of gravy, or, whatever. Bring it out and bring it to our table, and we're going to try to feed as many families as we can for Christmas this year.
Yes. We did that last year. It went great. We fed several families that were in need. The people gave. Thank you all for giving last year. We hope that you give again this year.
And
Those
100% of anything you give goes to these meals. We don't
Yes,
get
we don't
anything
keep
out of it.
anything. Bill, are you still going to have the PayPal set up?
Yes, I will have that on our website sometime within the next 24 hours.
Because some people wanted to donate cash for us to get it, which
I
we
will
didn't
have-
have that set up last
I
year.
will have that information on the website and on the Facebook page within the next 24 hours.
Okay. So it's going to be going to good families as always. And we urge you, wherever you are, buy local, help your local community, because I'm sure there are people right there who need you, and you don't have to look outside of that. So check us out on the website, bluecollarminutemen.com. Something new that's on the site, if you go to contact us on our website and scroll down the page a little bit, we're now putting links to different newsreels where we're getting our information from. So if you didn't know or you didn't catch where we were getting it from during the podcast, you can now go to the website, click on a link, and it'll take you to where we got our information from. So that's new on the website. Also, check us out on Facebook at BCMM. We're on Spreely, YouTube still for now. We're on Rumble. We're on BitChute. So you can check out our videos on BitChute. And of course, you can look at our videos on the website. Also, email us at bluecollarminutemen@protonmail.com and send us your questions, comments, concerns, and any ideas you might want to give us for an upcoming show that you'd like to see us discuss. Feel free to do that anytime. And you can also find that email address on the website. Just click on it and send your comments from there. Did I forget anything, Bill?
You got it.
Man, this list is getting longer and longer each time.
Well, I just want to say good night. Have a great evening from the command bunker in an undisclosed location in a nondescript building well beneath the earth.
Yeah. Hey, Merry Christmas to you all. God
Merry
bless
Christmas.
you all, and God bless America.
Amen.
God bless.
See you.